Alright guys, are you a one or two man team looking to shoot music videos or already do shoot music videos at a low budget, you don't really have too much gear, and you really want to improve your quality of music videos, just kind of make it look a little bit more professional, kind of like you know what you're doing, or even like you have a whole production team around you? If so, this video is for you. What is going on, button pushers? My name is David. I'm a freelance photographer and videographer, and I'm here today to talk to you about music videos. I have a ton of experience on set, being by myself, setting up lighting, doing set design, doing shooting, and even editing all by myself, maybe having one other person on site with me to do behind the scenes or even just assist with setting things up for me and kind of helping me put things together and break things down. But for the most part, I'm shooting it by myself. So I wanted to share this knowledge with you guys to kind of help you guys and understand, hey, you don't need a whole production team to make something look super good. Just a few investments, a few different tips, and you can make it look super amazing. So first things first, I want to talk to you guys about investments. There's so many things that you can invest in to make a music video look super good, but there's three things that will help you a ton if you really want to invest in them. Now, first thing is first is a light. You can do so much with a one light setup. Another investment would be a stabilizer, like the Ronin S, the Ronin M. And lastly, an image stabilized lens or camera. That is going to help you out with any handheld shots that you want to do, make it look a lot better. However, you don't necessarily need it, but if you do want to, if you're still looking for cameras to buy, something like the USR, the USR5, the USR6, those all have image stabilization inside, as well as plenty of other cameras out there in the world. So make sure you do your research before you guys buy your cameras. But these three things are going to help you out a ton. There's a ton of other things like monitors and cages and handles and all that stuff, but they aren't actually really necessary. So these three things are the three things that I would definitely recommend that you look into investing in, because they're honestly going to help you out the most. That being said, let's get into the first thing, lighting. There's a ton you can do with a one light setup, and like the one light setups will give you options for creativity to set up nice looking scenes to light up the subject and, you know, create some depth between the subject and the background. So many different things. You can implement it with the set design, which I will show you. Something like smoke, you can throw it in and it'll kind of add this, you know, different vibe to the video. However, a video shot without a light is going to be really hard to kind of go around, and the production value is going to kind of like, because, you know, lighting is everything when it comes to photo and video. If you don't have good light, it's not going to be good. The lighting is the mood. The lighting adds so much stuff. You can add color using lights. You can throw on a blue filter, you can throw on a green filter, you can throw on a red filter. Lights are going to add mood. It's the first thing that adds any mood, as well as visibility. Because let's say you don't have enough light in the shot, you can't even shoot it, it just looks dark, it just looks black, nothing is visible, and the music video is just dead, done, whatever. So a one light setup is better than a no light setup. So the first thing you should even invest in at all is a light. That being said, now let's talk about set design. Set design is super important when it comes to adding a little more vibe to the story. Now, a lot of times I shoot in studios. I love smoke machines. Smoke machines are like my signature music video thing. I throw in a smoke machine, I play with light with the smoke, and I just make it seem moody. Everything, usually when you use a smoke machine, it's really a moody video or something really kind of fun to kind of add a little bit of atmosphere to the video. Now, set design could be anything from plants in the corners, chairs set up, really anything. Anywhere you're shooting, if you set something up, that's set design. So if you throw in a chair, you make it look good. Different colors in the background, you know, a white wall maybe with a red couch and a green plant or something. Just make it look good. All of that is going to add effect into your video. A lot better than maybe like, hey, I think maybe if we just, you know, shoot the entire video like right here in the middle of the street and kind of just get like, you know, cars in the background and stuff. Now that is kind of set design, but you aren't really designing anything. It's kind of just the same old boring walk through the neighborhood kind of video. Now when you have the ability to set things up, like make sure like, hey, I want to shoot this here, but make sure you bring this and this and this and wear this outfit. It's going to look so good. The colors are going to contrast with each other. You're going to get different like palettes of stuff to kind of set the vibe of the video. that's gonna do so much more than just saying, hey, yeah, let's just like put you in the middle of the street, let's have you walking down the road or something and shoot you while you're rapping straight into the camera. You know, just having an idea of kind of what colors you want. What, you know, just listen to the song a few times, be like, yeah, so this is the colors I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a blue and a yellow, maybe a little bit of green to the side. You know, just kind of actually paying attention and, you know, feeling the video will give you so much more in set design, so much more vision into color and kind of the story itself. Now let's get into the more technical camera things. Let's talk about things like camera movement and, you know, camera settings. First of all, I want to talk to you about camera settings and something that I feel like people need to understand. Everybody wants to get that most shallow aperture. Everybody wants that 1.2, 1.4, 1.8. But here's the thing. When you shoot at those apertures, you're creating a huge field of isolation. So when I move closer to the camera like this, I get, you know, more in focus, but the background gets a ton blurrier. But here's the thing, when you're shooting at like a 1.4, so many things are going to be out of focus. So I recommend to you guys to shoot above a 2.0 but below a 4.0 because that's going to give you the ideal level of sharpness for the artist, because when they're going to be moving a lot back and forth, you're going to be moving a lot also. So that depth of field is going to keep going in and out and in and out, especially if your camera doesn't have really good autofocus to keep up with that. It's going to be super hard. So I recommend having that at like a 2.0 to a 2.8 just for that ideal sharpness to be able to keep that subject looking good, and that's going to give you a really good looking quality video as far as sharpness goes when it comes to editing and all of that post-production and deliverables. So don't get all caught up in that depth of field look. Really focus on making sure that the artist is actually in focus. And then I want to talk to you guys about camera movements. Now, there's a ton of different camera movements you can do. There's a ton of different camera movements that you can do. You can do the push and the pull, you can do the rolls, you can do the tilts. There's so many different the pan, so many different things you can do. Here's the thing. A lot of you guys like to be boring. Some of you guys like to just keep doing this, or just keep doing this, or, you know, just do this. But like, mix it up. Like, maybe go in and then to the side and out, roll, do a lot of different combination movements, because the same shots of just this and this and this and this and this get super boring, you know? Like, seeing that over and over and over and over is just, come on. You can do so much better. And now maybe, yes, if it's like tied in with a specific vibe, if maybe like every shot does this, like the Travis Scott one where it goes over his head and then over and over and over, like in a circle, sure, absolutely fine. It's the style of video that you actually wanted. But to just keep doing this over and over, or like this over and over, it gets boring. You want to mix it up. You want to do rolls, tilts, pans all at the same time, especially if you're shooting on a gimbal or even a handheld, you know, mix it in. And when it comes to the artist movement as well, there's plenty of things you can do. You can push in while he's moving back, which I kind of don't like doing because it gets kind of boring, because that means they kind of stay in like the same field. But what I like doing is when the artist moves forward, I move closer. So it adds this kind of like look. It just like, you know how a wide angle lens morphs a little bit and kind of like gives it that orb look? I love that. I love it. So when that happens, when the artist moves forward, I move the camera forward. When he moves back, I move back also. And that just adds for a lot of different depth and a lot of, you know, stuff that a lot of people don't actually think about when they're shooting videos like that. They just really trying to get on that performance stuff, but they don't really focus on all the technical camera stuff. So when it comes to your movements, make sure you guys mix it up, have fun. Another thing is, people don't really move to the beat of the song. Now, when I'm shooting a music video, I really like get into it. I really like, okay, let me listen to the song, let me see the way the artist is moving, let's listen to the actual beat, and let's flow with the song. So like, if we're gonna have like a smooth song, we're going like slow parts, I go slow. I move slow with the camera, and then when it hits like, when the beat drops, I go in. Like, I really like go in, I speed up, the camera moves move a little faster, it gets a little crazier, and then when it gets back to the slow part, I slow down, and I just go easy on it, you know? So it really depends on the song. Flow it in with the camera movements. Tie it together, because that's kind of what the artist loves to see. They're gonna be like, I love the way you started getting energetic when the song started picking up, and I love the way you slowed it down and made it like super smooth, slow movements when it got to that slow part. Crazy job. And lastly, before you guys go, I want to talk to you guys about colors. colors and contrast when it comes to the editing. There's a lot of things you can do. Of course, you could just do the super contrasty look, you could do the brown look, you can, do the generic stuff. But I love split toning. Split toning is going to do so much for you, and I also do 2 layers of curves because I like adding a little bit more moody, a little bit more contrasty when it comes to music videos, making those blacks a little bit blacker, and playing with hues. Hues are super important because it kind of adds your own personal twist to things, like specific skin tones, specific oranges, specific greens, or if there's no greens at all, if there's no yellows, you gotta play around with those, man. You gotta take those colors and just play around as much as you can, making them look really good, but not distorting them too much unless that's the kind of look your artist wants. But just actually having fun with it, making it look cinematic, really good, not just throwing basic curves on top, a bunch of highlight, drop those shadows. Like, there are specific scenes where you want to drop shadows, but not all the time. Sometimes you need to lift shadows. Sometimes you don't even want highlights. For the most part, honestly, I never really try to bring the highlights up too far. Honestly, I bring them into the negatives because sometimes things can get blown out or lights are too bright. So I bring the highlights down. It's really up to you and how you want to shoot it. But let me tell you, just because the highlights are highlights, it doesn't mean you have to bring them up. It's really based on your look, what you think looks good. And let me tell you, a super heavy contrasty look is not that great. And something that's super saturated, not that great. When it comes to the music, it depends on the mood. Maybe it's like a sad, mellow, or angry look. You want to give it that desaturated look. When it's that happy vibe and all that stuff, maybe a little bit more vibrance, but not saturation. Saturation and vibrance are 2 different things. You got to realize that. So you can look into that, play around with it a little bit, but make sure before you even export it, you like it. Make sure you ask a few friends like, hey, what do you think about this color? Honest opinions. Don't, sugarcoat it. Really give it to me so I get better. Anyways, guys, that is all for today's video. Just a few things. So I really hope you guys could pick up a few things out of this video and really improve that quality. And I hope you enjoyed watching the few things that I shot here on this as the B-roll and everything. Because, I see a ton of people shooting music videos and they're just doing all the same things, making the same mistakes, or just thinking way too hard. They're like, okay, yeah, I really want to buy this lens, but I tell them like, hey, this lens isn't really going to do much for you. You should invest in something like a light or something that can actually really help out. Something that isn't, too whatever. Like, they have a lens, they just need a light, they need a stabilizer. There's so many things they can do to improve music videos and just kind of add that basic understanding of videos, like frame rates and whatnot. So besides that, I hope you guys learned a little bit something from this video. And yeah. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Make sure to drop me a comment below. Let me know. You got any questions? What do you want to know next? Just let me know. Anything in the comment. Just say something. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day, morning, night, or wherever you're watching from. And keep pushing buttons, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.